She was fighting something besides panic. Her senses were in a fog. It dawned on her that the killer had drugged her. He must have poisoned her at some point during the evening, probably at dinner. They had all eaten the same hash and the same vegetable soup served out of the same pots, but Harding could have slipped something into her food. She had been left alone that evening. The other performers and the clowns, animal trainers, ticket sellers, and roustabouts were still in town, celebrating the surprisingly successful run in Abbotsville. The Ramsey Circus was one of the few traveling shows that had survived the worst of the economic disaster that had followed in the wake of the great crash of '29, but it was struggling financially. The stock market had collapsed nearly a decade earlier, but much of the country was still trying to escape the shadow of the Depression. Ticket sales during the past week had been a rare bright spot in an otherwise dismal season. She had stayed behind and gone to bed early because she had not felt well. She could not afford to get sick. She was the star attraction. Her circus family depended on her. Her head was slowly clearing, but her heart was still beating too fast. She reached the top of the ladder and transitioned to the small platform. She grasped one of the upright poles that supported the narrow board on which she stood and took deep, clarifying breaths. The only good news was that Harding could no longer reach the black necklace. He had stopped a couple of rungs down, his waist even with the platform. She realized that he did not feel confident about joining her on the board. There wasn't much room. Perhaps he was afraid he would be vulnerable. Perhaps he feared that she would try to take him with her when she went down. No net. "Time to fly," Harding said. He braced himself on the ladder with one hand and took out the knife. He waved the blade slowly back and forth, as if trying to hypnotize her. "If you do as I tell you," he said, "and if you're as good on the trapeze as everyone says, if you really are the flying princess, I will let you live." It was then that Amalie heard the high, muffled giggles. They emanated from the darkened seats. Someone was watching. She was dealing with not one, but two human monsters tonight. Never let the audience see you sweat. "We both know you won't let me live," she said, fighting the fear and the effects of the drug. "You can't afford to do that because I know who you are. I can identify you. So of course you have to kill me." "Fly, you stupid bitch. It's your only chance. If you don't perform, I'll slit your throat and throw you off the platform." There were more giggles from the shadows. "Who's your pal in the audience?" she asked. "If you want to live, shut your mouth and fly." Her nerves and senses were a little steadier now. They were on her territory. She was the flying princess. The trapeze was her realm. She ruled here. And she never worked with a net. "Sure." She grabbed the bar as though preparing to perform. "How many times have you done this? They say at least 3 flyers have been killed in the past few months. Did you murder them all by yourself? Or did you need help?" "Fly or die, princess." Harding watched her with the eyes of a snake. She sensed that he was a little rattled, though. She had gone off script. He was not accustomed to that. She toyed with the bar, testing it. Her flyer's intuition warned her that it did not feel right. Harding had indeed sabotaged the equipment. If she flew for him, she would go down. "I'm not going to fly for you," she said. "If you want to kill me, you'll have to step out onto the platform with me. You don't have the nerve to do that." Harding roared and bounded up the last few rungs of the ladder, the knife aimed at her midsection. "I'll gut you first," he said. It was in that instant, when he transitioned from the ladder to the platform, that he was vulnerable, because he was using one hand to grip the knife and the other to